I also just hit the record button. See if I can record this episode. See how it affects the stream. See if it creates any pixelation. My computer should be able to handle it. It's my internet I'm worried about. I'm on faster broadband, so it should be okay. About 9 megs upload. There's a lot of activity here in Joint Command, sir. The entire fleet must be mobilizing for something big. The rest of the senior staff is briefed in another area. Our orders are to meet with the Chief Logistics Officer. Understood. I'll find Chief Logistics Officer, but I'd like to ask, why are you wearing a spacesuit? Did you assume you'd be on this mission? I haven't said anything about who my away team is, or even if I'm bringing one. Hello, Chief Logistics Officer.
Please follow me to Sub-Commander Cole.
Sub-Commander Cole. That's equivalent to a captain rank. So, by Alliance terms, I outrank him as a fleet admiral. And logistics officer, you don't have to show me the way, I know the way. Koran, Shon, and I can't remember that. Jarek, is it? They're the flagship captains for each superpower. I'm surprised there isn't a Jem'Hadar captain here now. Oh, I like her salute. Speak with Sub-Commander Cole.
Good to see you again. We now know why the sphere generates vast amounts of omega particles. It is designed to use those particles as fuel to jump to any area of space. There is a space station that controls the jumps in close orbit of the sphere's star.
So the Dyson spheres have an omega jump drive. Go on, intriguing.
Admiral Tuvok from Starfleet was selected to lead a small team to the station to try to disable it. With him is Dr. Eric Cooper, a scientist who has been studying Dyson and Iconian technology. Something's gone wrong. 2 hours ago, we received a distress signal from Tuvok. Please use the console to download the signal. Afterward, I'd like to hear your opinion of the situation.
Understood. I'm familiar with Admiral Tuvok because he is famous, and I have met Cooper before, and he was a bit off. Activate distress signal.
Joint Command, please respond. This is Tuvok. Sensors have detected a large Voth fleet moving toward the station. They have discovered us, and we have yet to complete our work. Communications with our ship are down. Our last contact with them indicated that they were having technical difficulties and may be forced to retreat to a safer location. I will be unable to stop a Voth advance without assistance.
I might have known Tuvok would be in big trouble. He would only send a distress signal if it was dire circumstances. Don't you agree, Sub-Commander Cole?
The attack on the Voth fleet will commence shortly. Captains, please return to your ships.
Any last thoughts, Sub-Commander?
Tuvok and Cooper are stranded with an entire Voth fleet bearing down on them. I need you to fly to the station, rescue our team, and finish the mission. Our fleet will engage the Voth to help keep them distracted. But to avoid detection, you'll need to fly roughly 100 kilometers above the surface of the star.
Ooh, flying that close will put my ship at risk, but it's Admiral Tuvok. Somebody's got to save him if he's such a big hero as history suggests.
Speak with the logistics officer assigned to brief your crew on the situation. With your permission, we can help your engineers set up a temporary modulation for your shield frequencies that should allow your ship to travel that close to the sun safely.
Very good. I'll speak with the logistics officer for those enhancements. My scantily clad crew and a potato. What about these shield enhancements?
Greetings. Our engineers are working with your crew now to create a temporary modulation program that will help your shields protect your ship from the heat and radiation you will encounter on your way to the sun station. Your ship should be able to safely make the trip, but it won't be able to remain in orbit of the station.
Where should the Feline Power 10 go after I am on the station? That's the name of my ship.
We will need every available ship to fight the Voth. It would be best if your ship joined the fleet once you are aboard the station. Your goals on the station are to find Admiral Tuvok, assist him to shut down the sphere's jump capabilities, and then retreat before the Voth fleet arrives. Do you have any questions?
So I'll leave my second in command in charge of my ship, and she will take it to the fight. What would be my escape plan if my ship's not there to pick me up?
Admiral Tuvok traveled to the station in a new starship, specifically designed to withstand the conditions there. The Dyson has reported some technical issues, but they should still be in transporter range. It will be standing by to assist you when you've completed your mission.
Ah, so there's a new ship, the USS Dyson. I will be counting on that ship's arrival. Crew, are we ready? Let's beam up. Let's do this thing. Captain, we are approaching the surface of the star. Modifications to our shields are holding off the worst of the effects, but they won't keep us safe for long. We're already losing subsystems to the heat and radiation. I can keep us flying for now with emergency backups, but more systems are going offline by the minute. It's only a matter of time before we lose something critical. Yes, and I hope these modifications have a good deal of metaphysics, like those Ferengi shields, so we can hold together long enough to plot a course at the best possible speed. Full impulse. Entering hailing frequency range. Full stop. Hail Admiral Tuvok. We can't establish any communication with the station, Admiral. Initial scans indicate that the nearby solar flares are interfering with our frequencies. It is possible for the Feline Power 10 to repair the nearby star flare inhibitors. That should allow us to contact the station. Then I think we better do that. We can't just beam on without knowing if Admiral Tuvok is there. It's a risk. Let's get these flares under control then. There's the first one. It's working. But let's speed this up. We're having some issues with structural integrity fields. The Galaxy class was not built for this. It's a tough ship, but even tough ships have limits. Also, the Galaxy class is getting a bit old by current Starfleet standards. We haven't received the Dreadnought upgrade. So far so good. The next one's a bit distant, so let's put on some speed. Full stop. Watch that drift. The inertia is quite strong here. It's like being a fireman, putting out these flares. Steady on to the next one. Careful, more damage coming in. Full stop. Engineering team. We're suffering some hull buckling. Science team. Shore up those shields. Now we can realign the flare suppressor. There we are, the station should be safe enough to hail Tuvok now.
Your arrival is timely. The Voth are already on the station. I am with Dr. Cooper, but many of the other members of our team have been killed. Any assistance you can render would be useful. I recommend that you speak to your crew before transport. Your vessel will not be able to remain in range for long.
Understood. I'll be there on the double. Captain, the ship will suffer irreversible damage if we stay this close to the sun. We can retreat, perform critical repairs, and then rejoin the fleet against the Voth. What are your orders? Support the fleet once I beam over. The Dyson will come and pick me up afterwards. Hopefully. I'll beam over now. Energize. See that? Trying to do a little role play.
Greetings, I am Admiral Tuvok. The man behind the crates is Dr. Eric Cooper, the Federation Science Council's expert on Dyson technology.
Yes. Hello, I'm Dr. Cooper.
Allow me to brief you on the situation, so we may determine the best plan of action. Main power is offline. I am not sure what caused this disruption, but the event was fortunate. The darkness is a distinct tactical advantage. There are manual overrides in each room. I have temporarily disabled the one between us and the Voth. Unfortunately, the Dyson's captain did not survive the Voth's initial assault.
So there are Voth on board. Good idea to switch the lights off, Tuvok. And the way you said Cooper was the Federation's expert, it sounds like you're not confident in his abilities, or he's disagreeable to your logic, considering he was cowering to fear behind the crates. What can you tell me about this station anyway?
There are two generator rooms that control much of the station's operations. The generator room to the south controls the power. The control room to the west, where the Voth are, maintains the station's jump capabilities. It is imperative we reach the west control room and disable it before the Voth jump this sphere back to their space. The release of the Omega particles needed for this reaction would be catastrophic.
How many Voth are we talking about, Tuvok?
More than the two of us can safely engage. Defeat would be certain. However, if we restore main power, we can use the station's automated defenses to even the odds, if we can avoid being targeted by them ourselves. I understand you have extensive combat experience. Do you have any suggestions?
Your plan sounds logical, Mr. Tuvok. My gut says we should go with it. My
We're
gut.
moving away from the Voth, right?
Yes, but there are some bodies here. We should gather as much information as we can. Starfleet. Poor soul. Your crew defended you with their lives, Mr. Tuvok. You can be proud. And an enemy body. Ah, the automated defenses were online briefly. Let's move on.
Sensors are detecting a Voth battle mech ahead. I recommend we perform a more detailed scan to ensure it is deactivated.
Yes, and who knows? One day I might be allowed by Starfleet to salvage one of these things and have one myself. Its power core is still alive, but it requires minor repairs. It should stay offline. Your thoughts, Tuvok?
The pilot of this battlesuit may have been killed in the fighting. However, we do not know what else we will find on this station. We must move forward. The trapped Voth will be attempting to circumvent my modifications. What do you suggest?
Protect Cooper. I believe you need to keep an eye on him. Let's move on.
Sorry.
Steady,
I thought I saw
Cooper.
Remain calm, Doctor.
I like that, the way Tuvok says, remain calm. Oh, I'm convinced.
The defenses in here can be quite lethal.
It was awful. The sounds, the blood. Ugh.
Cooper? You're supposed to be a professional. You knew the risks when you took this mission. Besides, Starfleet officers gave their lives to protect you and the commanding officer. They knew how important all this was. Show some respect, Cooper.
I
Ah,
will stand watch while you and the doctor examine the generator.
yes, the generator room. Ah, let's see, where's the big button?
If I understand this correctly, we can restore main power activating consoles that match the symbol up here. After the first one is activated, we'll only have 20 seconds to activate the other two. If we don't, the system will defend itself. Also, activating the wrong consoles will trigger the system's defenses. Be careful.
I understand, Cooper. Glad to see you're finally back on board and thinking again. Fear is not productive. in any circumstance. So it's the red console first, if I understand your explanation, Cooper.
That looks right.
Now onto the yellow one.
That looks right.
And now 20 seconds for the blue one.
We're locked out. Swarmers incoming.
I was too late. Ready your phasers. It's using the console as a shield.
Is it over?
It's alright, Cooper, you didn't have to run. We've got you covered. At least we can activate the station power source now for those automated defenses. Well, the station really is coming to life if it can open up its display ports. Do you hear that, Mr. Tuvok?
This does not bode well.
Yes, I heard it too.
By restoring main power, we have released the locks, preventing the Voth from reaching our location. They will already be on the move. We will require Cooper's assistance to subvert the automated defenses for our own use. The Doctor is an expert in the technology found on the sphere. This is well within his capabilities.
I hope you're right about him being an expert.
What are we going to do? The Voth will be here any second, and I don't think they're in the mood to take prisoners. Please, you have to get me out of here. I'm not like you and Tuvok. I'm much too important to die here.
You have a high opinion of yourself. But if you calm down, I'll make sure we get out of here alive.
My help? What can I do? You and Tuvok have done everything so far. I don't even know how to use a phaser. I just want to go back to my lab. I was never meant for field work.
Cooper, you were assigned here because you said you knew this technology. Can you do this?
Tuvok said that? Well, maybe. I might know the technology, but I don't work well under pressure. I need time and space to think, and I need to be able to do my work without fear of being killed. I can't help you. I'm sorry.
Cooper, do you want to be rescued and saved or not? All people must contribute.
All right, I'll try. If we're here, and the station's defenses are active, but we're not under attack. But if that's the case, wait, I can do this. Just give me a moment.
Okay. But don't be too slow.
I think if I try this...
We can't survive here forever.
Dr. Cooper, we require a solution.
I'm working on
You
it.
see, even the Admiral's getting nervous.
Vulcans, if I can just try that...
And he's a Vulcan.
Yes, I have it. I've done something. I'm not ready for what's being thrown at me here. Maybe I could activate the beams or something else?
Allow me, Doctor. Fascinating. With this exposed, I can manually activate the defenses in the next room. However, there is another possibility.
Oh?
Instead of activating the defenses to assist you, I can reroute the power to attempt to send a message to our stranded ship. It may not help, but we have been out of contact for hours. Your options are activating the defense beams, activating swarmers, or using none of them.
I believe beams would be more reliable than swarmers, because swarmers could probably be taken out before they get in a position to fire, whereas the Voth may not expect where the beams are coming from.
I can activate beams of energy that will shoot down in set periods of time. I do not have any further control than that. But you could lure some of the Voth into the beams. The beams are quite deadly, so I would advise keeping your distance. This would be our easiest option against the Voth, but if we are not careful, we could be caught in the beams. Would you prefer I activate the beams?
Yes, but we will be careful and cautious.
I'll wait here. You go on ahead.
Okay, Tuvok, I hope you remember your security officer training. Being an admiral behind a desk, and let's hope it hasn't dulled your skills. Let's see if we can lure them. I got hit with something there. I think it was fuse armor. Yes, your beams are working, Mr. Tuvok.
Voth inbound. Prepare yourself.
I'm laying down a turret.
Voth commanders are approaching.
I'm going to try and get them in an electrical field. That should weaken him.
We should move forward. Be on your guard.
Always, Mr. Tuvok. We must collect all valuable salvage that we can. I hope Cooper is on his way. Be cautious here, Tuvok.
A Voth soldier is activating the battlesuit.
Yes, my senses. My hair's just stood on end. Mind the heavy fire! It appears they're vulnerable to flank damage, Mr. Tuvok. You provided the distraction I needed. Let's keep moving.
That was an explosion of sufficient magnitude to cause a breach. Doctor, what is your status?
I'm fine. The Voth can't get in. You, may want to put a shield up around the next door before you open it.
Ah, is that where the breach occurred? Do you think we had a stray shot, or are the station weakening? Activating force field. Opening door. Let's see what damage we took, Mr. Tuvok.
It would appear all that is between us and our goal is the vacuum of space.
Yes.
My modifications successfully locked the Voth out of this area. However, there was an armed Voth battlesuit in the corridor. The station's automated swarmers attacked, and this is the result.
Let's try to contact Dyson Command again, Mr. Tuvok. They can transport us across.
No response. According to my readings, there is no method of direct access. Unless your ship is within range, we are stranded.
My crew will be with the fleet, but I'll try to hail them. It's unlikely that it will respond while in battle. As I suspected, there's no response. Should we wait for Cooper?
I'm here. Wait.
Doctor, we require a way to access the other areas of the station. Your thoughts?
I have an idea, but you may not like it. Those EV suits over there. They have maneuvering jets that we could use on the outside of the station. I've looked them over, and they should be able to withstand the heat of the sun.
Should.
Well, nothing will withstand that much heat and radiation for long. The suits appear to be designed for use in the shadow of the station. But, technically, they can keep us safe. For a little while.
They will have to suffice. We have no other logical option.
Well, I'm an engineer, Mr. Tuvok. I think I can spruce up the energy fields of these suits a little. But it's going to be hairy out there due to all the debris from that hull damage. Let's just hope the explosion has sent most of the debris hurtling away down into the sun's gravity well.
Me? Of course not. It's far too risky for me to go out there.
We will need to convince Cooper to overcome his fear and help us complete our mission.
Yes, one moment, Mr. Tuvok, while I equip my suit. If you don't mind turning your head for a moment. Activating air supply. And illumination. Cooper, we need
Do you
you.
really need me out there? Internal comms are still active. I could just tell you what you have to do. I really can't stand any more stress. I have no idea why Admiral Tuvok chose me for this project. I'm not trained for field work. If I get home alive, I'm writing a letter to the Federation Science Council. I'll file a formal complaint.
If you want to live to make that complaint, you'll have to come with us. It's the only way for the USS Dyson to get a lock on your signal. They can't penetrate the station here.
I know. But flying over a star? It's crazy. I don't even like using the holodeck. All I can think about is how I'm going to burn to a crisp and die horribly, away from everyone I care about.
Do you think I want to do this? I'm going to anyway because it's the only thing we can do, and your help is required.
Well, I've seen the stories about you. You've been through a lot for one captain. If you can do this, maybe I can too. I'll get my EV suit. Let's go.
That's the spirit. Admiral, are you ready? On my lead. Just keep an eye out for debris.
Calm yourself, Doctor. Conserve your oxygen.
A lot of sharp edges. Hold back here for a moment while I investigate this debris.
Blocking the station's entrance.
Hold on for a moment, Admiral Tuvok. This is taking some precision flying. I believe I can scan the debris now.
There is a large amount of debris blocking the entrance. It will be impossible for us to move it without assistance. I can scan the area for anything that may be of use.
Make it quick, Mr. Tuvok. These suits are burning up.
There are two objects of interest. The first is the remains of a Voth battlesuit. There is a mortar
trace onto the debris. The second is the remains of a swarmer, specifically a miniaturized communications device. We could use it to detonate the mortar remotely.
I see it, Admiral. You look after Cooper. I'll go get it. Are you sure this explosive is safe, Admiral? It's a bit big for our purposes. It's hard to fight the inertia here, but I am removing the explosive now. Okay. Let's hope this heat doesn't set it off prematurely. I'm suffering lots of static electric damage on my suit. Getting into position to set the charge now. I'm going to hurl it at the door and hope it has a magnetic grip.
I suggest
Charge set.
safe distance before activating the charges.
Agreed. This damaged conduit debris should provide us with some cover. These suits are damaged enough. Let's hope this blast doesn't finish them off. Fire in the hole! Let's get inside quick before these suits completely fry. I'm already losing electrical control. You see the sparks?
The door is sealed. Any ideas, Doctor?
There should be a manual release for the locks above us.
I will establish a shield.
Yes, both of you stay here. I'll handle the locks. There appears to be 3 manual locks, as Cooper suggested. Approaching first lock now. Suit controls are getting more and more difficult. First lock engaged. Approaching second. Damn suit controls. I'm getting very little thrust. Second lock engaged. Approaching third. Both of you go inside as soon as the third lock is engaged and the door opens. I'll be right behind you.
The doors are open. Dr. Cooper and I will wait for you inside.
Third lock secure. On my way. I'm losing control. My suit is melting, temperature increasing. My fur is beginning to singe.
These suits are fried. I doubt they'll be much use anymore.
Yes, Mr. Cooper, my suit is a goner. I'm going to remove it now, as you have done. And next time, Cooper, turn your head when a lady changes clothes. Mr. Tuvok, my heckles are up again. I've learned to trust Catian senses.
Something has closed the doors.
I'm laying down a
Most
turret.
unsettling.
I think the station's defenses are activating.
Stand ready. Fire at will. These are those swarmers you spoke of, Mr. Tuvok. It seems the VOP have gained access to them and have remotely activated them from afar.
We should move forward before more defenses activate.
Agreed. On the double. At least we are safe in the corridors. What's this?
Use caution. The Windows shields are malfunctioning in this area. The shadows of those consoles should provide a measure of safety.
Just when you think it's bad, it gets a little worse. I'll go. I'm used to risk. And I'm the fastest, being a cat. Holding position. Now. Holding position. This is going to be a hot one. Now.
The shields
That should do it.
Our destination is ahead.
Accolade complete. Shuttle on time. Hugger. Mr. Tuvok. That could have been me. I think we've been very lucky. Let's move on before the shield breaks. We will probably have to come through this way again, so we must be quick.
We must power down the room's shielding to access the control panels.
That is risky, but we have little choice.
The Doctor and I will continue our work while you disable the lower panels.
No problem. A problem an engineer can solve. Final panel now.
Good work. Reactivate the shields and we can complete our mission.
At last, Mr. Tuvok, we will be rescued.
The honor of deactivating the station is yours.
Accepted.
There we go. The deactivation program is moving nicely.
Doctor, I'm detecting something curious. Energy levels in the gateway in front of us are rising at an exponential rate. It appears to be activating.
What? Let me check. Oh, this is not good. The gateway is designed to be an escape hatch in the event this station goes offline. We cannot deactivate the jump protocols without activating the gateway as well.
Is there any way to override the protocols?
None that I can see. If we want to stop the jump, we have to activate that gate.
It seems we have little choice. Your thoughts?
Well, Cooper,
As Tuvok said, we have no choice. If we want to stop this sphere from moving, we need to activate the gateway. Our time here is limited. The Voth will return in force. We have to do this now. There is no other option.
our path seems clear. Shutting down jump abilities.
I'm so sorry. I wish I could have found a better way. I failed you both.
Do not dwell on this. If there was another option, we would have found it. One moment. We are being hailed. Tuvok here.
Chief Engineer Tarkaram of the Dyson here, Admiral.
Acknowledged, Chief. Are all of your systems restored?
The opening of the gateway cleared up the ambient distortion disruptions. Do you need transport?
Yes, I want to get off this station now.
We are ready to depart. Chief, do you have a lock?
Admiral Tuvok, come in!
Dyson, 3 to beam up.
We can't get a lock. You need to get out of the hot zone. Move!
Yes, let's get out of here, Mr. Tuvok, Cooper. And let's wonder in the process if Chief Tarkin of the Dyson knows that he sounds a lot like Admiral Quinn.
We're going to die! We're going to die!
Probably. But let's keep moving anyway. Mind the gases, they're deadly.
We have a lock on you, sir. Just give the word.
Energize. Cool, this loading screen is giving me some transporter burns.
Good to have you on board, sir. I'm Chief Engineer Tarkaram. The fleet and your ship are still engaged with the Voth, but several Voth ships are making their way towards the gateway. One of their dreadnoughts has already passed through. As the only available ship, we have orders to stop the other Voth from entering the gateway.
Understood. The controls of your ship aren't too familiar to me, but I am assuming command. Divert all power to weapons. Enemy contacts. Engage them. Firing weapons. They are disrupting our sensors. Ah, this ship has a tactical mode. Let's make use of it. Chief Engineer, I like this ship. She handles beautifully. Brace for impact. More power to shields.
There are no more Voth in the vicinity, but one dreadnought did go through the gateway. If my readings are correct, it is passing into another Dyson sphere, this one deeper in the Delta Quadrant. If the Voth are allowed to enter another sphere, they will try to claim it, as they have fought to claim this one.
Another sphere? We must pursue them and prevent their claim. And who knows, there may be more Omega particles for us. I wouldn't mind a Dyson Sphere ship.
Navigational readings indicate we are in the Delta Quadrant. However, we are inside a Dyson sphere, and there are no known structures of this type in this region. I'm detecting the presence of a Starfleet vessel, the USS Gold. That ship disappeared on a survey of the Jenolan Dyson sphere at the precise instant the Iconian Gateway network was reset to save New Romulus.
The Jenolan Dyson Sphere?
This sphere was discovered by the crew of the USS Jenolan in 2294. The USS Enterprise D rescued Montgomery Scott, a survivor of the Jenolan 75 years later. However, it now appears that the Jenolan sphere had the same jump capabilities as the Solanae, and moved to this location with the gold inside.
Yes, I remember the reports. Mr. Scotty is why I became an engineer. What is the status of the gold?
I'm detecting disabled systems on the gold, but there is no weapons damage. Also, sensors indicate that the Voth Dreadnought has its weapons armed, but has not fired. What do you suggest?
Let's hail the gold to see what their status is. Moving into hailing frequency range. There's a lot of plasma damage. Their range is limited. Let's get closer. We're in range now. Full stop, hail the USS Gold.
Thank the prophets. I knew someone would find us. We were on a routine survey in the Jenolan Dyson sphere when something happened. Systems that have been dormant for centuries activated. The energy readings were off the scale. Then a flash and...
And what?
My nav computer claims we're in the Delta Quadrant. If that's right, this entire Dyson sphere somehow moved itself more than 50,000 light years from its previous position. Since
Holy!
then, we've been stuck. I would have taken Voyager's path back home if we could get out of the sphere. The doors were locked tight and the gateway powered down as soon as we arrived.
Yes, we've confirmed that the sphere did move position. but we can now help you return home with the aid of this gateway.
Glad to have the help. Supplies are running low. But what was that ship that just passed us? Shares some signs of Voth tech, but our databanks don't have anything like that.
There is another Dyson sphere discovered in the Beta Quadrant. There is currently a conflict between the Voth and an alliance of the Klingons, Federation and Romulans for control over the sphere.
Another Dyson sphere? It's taken us 40 years to study this one, and we're not even close to understanding it. And if that ship was Voth, it would explain why they ignored our hails. They came in with their weapons armed and then simply stopped. Didn't see us as a threat. The ship set course for the sealed door and is just sitting there. They're ignoring us. I promised my crew we'd get home. If you could send over a team with some spare components, I can get this ship ready to travel.
The Voth are ignoring you because they do not see mammals as equal life forms. And I suspect they're trying to figure out how to escape the sphere as you were. We'll transport over a few of our engineers for you.
I have extensive experience with the Voth. While they are arrogant, it is not like them to completely ignore a potential threat. It may be that they sense a greater danger. I suggest we approach and attempt to hail them. Voyager found that some Voth were open to negotiation. We should make every attempt to find a peaceful solution.
It's worth a try, Mr. Tuvok, though I doubt diplomacy is sufficient for this circumstance. Be on your guard, crew. Remember, we are currently at war with the Voth. No response yet. Decreasing distance. Full stop. Within hailing range, hail the Voth. They've locked onto us with a tractor beam. Try to break free.
The Voth are moving towards the door.
Tuvok?
Your query will have to wait, Doctor. Shields are down and we...
You're not...
You're not Cooper.
The weak shall perish.
Captain, the Undine outside of the sphere are powering weapons. The mammalian ship is still disabled.
Arm all weapons. We will destroy the creatures and then return for the mammals.
I am unharmed, but we are in danger. We are deep within the Delta Quadrant, right where Cooper wanted us. We do not know how long this infiltrator has impersonated Cooper, or the extent of what he has done. However, I am quite familiar with the tactics of Species 8472. We will repel the Undine, and survive to warn the Alpha Quadrant of the renewed threat.
I'm glad you're so confident, Admiral, that we can take on fake Cooper's big brothers. Battle stations. Chief Tarkham, Pride goeth before a fall. Enter tactical mode. Avoid torpedoes as best you can. Beam overload. Activate cannons. Torpedoes. Engage tractor beam. Torpedoes. Beam overload.
More ships are hurt. This vessel cannot defeat them alone.
This ship can take it.
I have experience with the Undine. You do not. They are extremely dangerous.
I must agree with Admiral Tuvok.
The Lisette is here to provide any assistance you require.
Well, that's timely. Welcome to the fight, Romulan flagship. We could use a scimitar about now. Creating gravity well.
Many have tried before. All have failed. 3 Undine battleships inbound.
3 battleships.
We're trapped in a rift. Break free.
We hold here.
Where's my engineering team? These Undine have a tendency to mess with our engines. Engineering teams stand by. We need to keep our engines online.
Now the real fight can begin.
Beam overload. Activate cannons. Drain shields. Second target.
What? Is that it? We wanted more of a fight.
Welcome to the fight, Klingon flagship.
2 Undine dreadnoughts are approaching.
Break us free of this rift. Science team. More shields. Target and fire at will. Create an anomaly. Gravity well established. It's working. Both dreadnoughts have been trapped in the gravity well. Let's capitalize. Activating tactical team enhancements. Beam overload. Cannons. Close proximity attack pattern. Keep up the barrage. Drain their shields. Torpedo.
You only delay the inevitable.
One dreadnought down.
Good to see you. We would have arrived sooner, but there was a Voth fleet in the way.
Glad you took out that dreadnought. That second dreadnought. It's nice to have a Romulan backup from the Alliance for a change.
Congratulations on a successful mission. Now the Romulan Republic will take over. We'll set up a command center for further operations. I'm sure Command will contact you when your presence is needed.
I believe there is a jurisdiction issue if the Romulans wish to take command.
No, this ends now. Our generosity to the Romulans can only extend so far. The Klingon Empire claims this Dyson Sphere as its own. Starfleet and the Republic would be wise to keep their distance. Or else.
The Solanae Dyson Sphere in the Beta Quadrant is controlled by an alliance of all our races. Why would this Janolan Dyson Sphere be any different to that?
Oh? Are you prepared to back that statement with action? The Klingon Empire has restrained itself again and again in an attempt to maintain this alliance with the Romulans. I think it's time I remind you of what happens when a Klingon loses patience.
Remain calm, Koran. We don't need to do this. We can talk it out. Think of the lives we could save if we don't fight each other.
Fighting over this sphere is not an option. It would divide our strength. Precisely what would benefit the Undine. The Voth chose to fight instead of cooperate. They were destroyed. We can choose not to be enemies. It is time we did so.
You're not an idiot, Koran. I believe you understand we are stronger together than we are apart.
The Klingon Empire will not sit and wait while the Federation and Romulans continue to claim these powerful weapons for themselves. This conversation is not over.
Klingon delegations are welcome to... You are part of the Alliance after all. And you, Commander Jarek?
The Romulan Republic will continue to take responsibility for areas within our jurisdiction, but I do not wish to cause a rift in what has been a successful joint action.
Wise.
However, I will not be put in a position where I must choose between the Federation and the Klingon Empire. We have agreements on both sides that must be honored. Sub-Commander Cole can handle the details. I am a ship captain, not an administrator.
I think you're a much smarter captain than you give yourself credit for. Very well.
Cooper's departure has lifted the miasma in my mind. An affliction that I did not even realize was there. He was influencing me. He used the psychic abilities of the Undine to influence my thoughts. And the results are an effect of my failure. I should have been able to detect his influence.
You're worried about the loss of your crew on the jump station. It's not your fault, Admiral. Blame where it belongs, with fake Cooper.
We have fulfilled our mission to neutralize the jump capabilities of the Solanae sphere, only to open up a gateway that the Undine can now use to reach our space. They will no longer have to create rifts from fluidic space. Was this Cooper's plan all along? I suggest we return to Sub-Commander Cole. We must attempt to save the fragile peace of the Alliance.
No wonder Species 8472 has entered the conflict between the Alliance and the Voth. Yes, let's report back to Dyson Command.
The sphere is under Federation control.
This sphere is only accessible through an Alliance-controlled gateway.
Then perhaps it is time to end this alliance.
This is neither the time nor the place for this.
Commander Jarok is correct. The Undine are a threat to us all. Now they have direct access to our space. I propose a summit. We must decide together what we must do to protect the Alpha Quadrant. Our disputes may need to be put aside in the face of a greater enemy. I volunteer to mediate these talks. Dr. Cooper manipulated me to achieve his goals. It is only logical that I take responsibility for what has happened here.
Very well, Vulcan. We will finish this later.
The Romulan seems to be the voice of reason, and the Klingon seems to be an antagonist. Where are the Dominion? I could not have anticipated all of this, Admiral. I feel for Admiral Tuvok, but I was fooled by Cooper's disguise as well. Tuvok and I will begin working on the next steps. We need to get everyone to sit down together and discuss what we should do before we start shooting at one another. I will contact you for your aid once we have concrete plans. You can rest assured we will need your help. Sub-Commander Cole out. And that is the end of the episode, A Step Between the Stars. I tried to play this one a little differently, with a bit of role play and a bit of immersion. I'm not sure how successful it worked, but I'll be posting this video on my YouTube channel for anyone who watches to decide for themselves. And if you are watching on YouTube, I would appreciate it if you were to like the video, subscribe, maybe share, but most of all, a comment would be nice, giving me your opinion. Even your criticism is welcome. Now I will collect my reward to complete my Dyson Solanae Hybrid Technologies set. All except the warp core, of course, which is only available with a Lobi ship purchase, I believe. And I'm not about to pay for that ship. In fact, I might already have it on my oldest character. Not this one. There it is. We'll bring that down there. And before I switch off my YouTube recording, a little thing to check after this mission is played is to check your starship traits. Because flying the USS Dyson during this mission may have removed them. In this case, it didn't. My traits are still there. But sometimes in this game, when you fly a different ship to the one your character commands, it will remove your traits. So it's always good to check them at the end of an episode that requires you to fly a different ship. I got lucky this time round. Anyway, YouTube, thanks for watching. I'm ending the YouTube recording now, but continuing to stream.